and hello everybody. Really nice to be on this platform with all of you. Um, I, I joined when Beryl was talking about her interest in what Derek does and being feeling authentic with going natural. It really resonated with me when I got to a point in my life when I decided to just go natural. It came with a lot of freedom. But I must say that it's also very challenging keeping your natural hair. So I would like to hear from Eric, how or anyone, some ideas and tips. Yeah, so
Called Women Power Renewal. So the next few moments, I can ask my colleague Derek Clement to talk about the work that Derek Clement Hair Care System does as it relates to Afro hair, African women, and the whole empowerment agenda as well. So over to you, Derek.
Yeah, good evening, guys. This is indeed a very, in fact, a beautiful moment in our history, and if we are, so I'll just jump straight into it. I'm Derek Clement. I've been doing hairdressing for over 30, 40 years, practically, and it's really fitting. This occasion is quite fitting simply because when you think of hair, you think of, in fact, any hair styling and hair tools, as a matter of fact, originated from Africa. So we have to give credit to our ancestors for being that creative. And of course, everybody else would have either plagiarized or misappropriated our hairstyles and our tools. And not only one thing that sticks out in my mind very, very clearly, and I'll jump forward a bit. During this dreadful trade called the slave trade, our women and our people had the amazing insight to design. Because, of course, once we were nabbed and we were taken from our homes in Africa, our hair played a fundamental part in terms of our survival. And so what we found that our women during that dreadful journey was thinking of how escape routes and how they could then survive. And so it's interesting that they were able to design into the hair maps and codes and signs and symbolisms to constantly guide the people to freedom. So you can well imagine in that dreadful era, what I tend to refer to as they were POWs. I tend not to use the word slavery. I think my people were actually prisoners of war. It was indeed a war that was taking place. And it's interesting, at every junction, every point, every time they had an opportunity, they would literally design those styles in the hair, plait the styles in the hair, and that would then give our runaway slaves or runaway prisoners a direction, where to go, where to meet up at night. And I think it's phenomenal. So I think our hair really stood the test of time, and here we are today. And I could see why it is the Afro is regarded as something that's quite frightening, because it's defiant, isn't it? And so those who were participant in our struggle and our suffrage, they have this proverbial fear of Afro hair. In fact, it is a term that people often refer to as Afrophobia. So they obviously know why, because that hairstyle, that texture means an awful lot in terms of our survival. There's something about the Afro hair that makes us defiant. And even when the sisters wear their head wrap, I see a couple of sisters on the platform tonight wearing the head wrap. That's also quite symbolic of who we are as a people. And so we can't talk enough about hair. Our hair means an awful lot to us.
Okay, thanks for that. I'd like to now focus again around the cultural side. So
Now,
yeah, okay, yeah.
so the well-being of your hair is somehow pegged to your overall well-being, and we talk about holistic, having a holistic approach. And since hair growth, so if you are going to support your, if you're going to support your immunity, you are indirectly also supporting the well-being of your hair, because the hair relies on nutrients. The hair relies on particularly sustainable nutrients to ensure that it's going to be healthy. And of course, as I said, the hair is what gives us our self-esteem, our confidence. Is that thing that when you see this, is what you see first is your hair. And so, having found yourself in this pandemic called COVID, I think it's crucial that we understand what to sustain our bodies with to ensure that we can survive this dreadful pandemic. And we are constantly pushing the envelope. Our ancestors told us that food is medicine and medicine is food. We've had great avatars like Dr. Sabi. So our culture provides the answers. There's a famous term in Grenada that says the answer is only 2 feet away. So since there's nothing we could do about the vaccine other than to take it, we have to therefore find ways to rid ourselves of these toxins and heavy metals. And so what we say to our people, our clients, so it's part of the well-being of your hair, is to focus on the foods that's going to support and boost your immunity. Some Irish moss, and all those are from our countries. As Rudy said, we talk about our ingredients were left behind. Well, today we have the ingredients right here. Gina, for instance, has a wonderful product. It's called G1. It's G1, is it, Gina?
G power.
G Power, and I think G
G
Power 1, and that's a fantastic blood a nutrient. It's important we also understand the importance of the three elements in our culture: sweet, bitter, and sour. Some cultures focus on only the sweet, and they forget to tell us that we should have a balance. Balance is very important. So Gina's G Power is marvelous. I take it for my health and well-being, and it's fantastic. It's actually bitters. It's all the way from Africa. And so back to the point of, if you look after if you boost and sustain your immunity, you are indirectly boosting and sustaining your hair, because your hair grows at a cellular level. It needs sustainable nutrients, not the garbage that we're told we must eat, but good healthy foods. And if it's from our indigenous countries, as our ancestors say to us, we must consume the foods that are indigenous to us. And things like, obviously, Irish moss I use a lot of. I ensure that something as simple as charcoal. Charcoal has lots of wonderful ingredients in it to protect our inside and boost our immunity. So yeah, it's crucial that our well-being is sustained using what we know from our ancestors, our that's indigenous to us, basically.
Okay. Thanks for that. Is there anybody wanting to add anything around that at all? Right. Beryl Green from South Africa. You know you've got to represent the whole country now, and you're on your own. No, normally we're being outnumbered by the South Africans on our forum. So I'm pleased, Beryl. You'll have to unmute. And we did have part of our KZN going global yesterday with the chairperson from KZN.
Yeah.
About. So Beryl, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm just happy to be here and, of course, to celebrate, Africa Day and us as Africans. And yeah, I'm always looking forward to listening to Derek Clement, because I'm very much so interested with this natural hair. And yes, of course, as a proud African, and I think I've spoken before that I used to wear like wigs and straighten my hair, and that didn't do my hair well. So I just went back to natural hair, and when I went back to natural hair, I started to feel so original and so natural. So I like to wear, this our natural hair, and also to yeah, to talk to our sisters and also the younger generation, just to accept themselves as they are, because this society sometimes we always want to be like as African, we always want to be having like the straight hair or things that are not us. So I'm always looking forward to listening to Derek Clement, and most of the time I always do come on and listen to the Zoom meetings afterwards whenever I have time. So I'm based in Germany, and yeah, I'm just glad to be on this platform with everyone. Yeah, with a little bit about myself, I know I've seen Beverly Lindsay here on the platform,